thing. PolitiFact also forced to retract their mostly true rating for Secretary of State Kerry's 2014 claim that 100% of chemical weapons had been removed. Not a good day for those two otherwise symbols of integrity and honesty. Joining me now to discuss the latest on the Syria strikes, reports of White House infighting, and Justice Gorsuch, political commentator, best-selling author, and Coulter. And great to see you again, and welcome to the broadcast. Let's start with let's start with Syria. Your thoughts on the strike yesterday? H.R. McMaster making it very clear that he thought it was a special moment in American military history.
No, I think we have to get rid of all these generals. I feel like I'm watching Dr. Strangelove with these guys. It's like what Sidney Hook said, to a man with a nail, all the world is a hammer. Were any of them paying attention to the Trump campaign? I like what Trump said during the campaign, which is it would be insane to go in and come out against Assad. He's the one fighting ISIS and al-Qaeda. We always go into these things. We get nothing out of it. We spend trillions of dollars. Americans die. Most of the rest of the world are savages, and we're always coming in at one point in the bar fight and propping up the loser at that one particular moment. The whole point of the Trump campaign was America first, put America first, make America great again. And what I really think you and I should be talking about right now, Lou, is, the fact that anchor babies aren't citizens and they should be deported too. And isn't that great that Trump is not printing work permits for the Dreamers anymore? Oh, except he is. We don't want to hear about the payloads and the topography of Syria. Get these generals out of the picture.
Well, and one of those generals, former generals, John Kelly, last Thursday testifying that basically the wall is a figure of speech. And he created great ambiguity about whether or not the wall was actually going to be built and its avowed purpose honored by the man who was chosen by the president to lead Homeland Security.
No, I did not know we had elected Jeb Bush president.
Yeah, it was one of those moments.
Yes. Well, look, I'm sympathetic to President Trump's idea that he wants to have General George Patton working for him, but someone needs to tell him Patton could not be made a general today. Generals are confirmed by the Senate, and that means, Democrats get to vote too. Republicans just ask, is this guy a good military leader? Democrats ask, what has he done to promote transgender bathrooms? Which is why all of these guys are utterly captive to PC, completely useless. I remember after the Fort Hood shooting, what was that general's name who said, well, as much of a tragedy as Fort Hood was, the greater tragedy would be if diversity became a casualty. That's what our generals are like. I mean, if you want somebody from the military, get a corporal. But no generals, they should be gone. Kelly, the head of Homeland Security, a few weeks earlier told a group of Democrats that he was the best friend DACA, the Dreamers program, the unconstitutional Dreamers program, ever had. Yeah. And even under the Trump administration, they are still printing work permits for illegal aliens.
Yeah, and these generals, and apparently, so succumbed to the Obama era doctrine of political correctness and trembling political and wavering political ambitions that they haven't been deprogrammed, at least a number of them. Let's turn to, if we may, Justice Gorsuch, he has, talk about promise on the Supreme Court. He seems to be brimming with it. Your thoughts?
I hope so. We'll see. In the history of Supreme Court justices is ours go bad, theirs never do. So all we can do is keep our fingers crossed. And I mean, the one thing that it's great, it would have been a disaster if it had been Hillary, but
my Lord, yeah.
We're really just treading water. We're replacing Scalia here, so it's not as if fantastic. We replaced Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a sane judge. No, we're replacing one amazingly great judge with what we hope will be half as good a judge.
Yeah, and Gorsuch, I happen to be a little more exuberant about it all than you, Ann. I think that he really does seem to have promised to rise to a Scalia-like stature on the court. I go into it optimistic.
I hope you're right.
I do too.
Yes, I will join your optimism.
You got it. The idea that this administration has done so much so quickly has been, I think, given too little notice at large, and to some degree because of their own messaging. But I have to say, Trump has done a marvelous job to this point, unlike any other president I've seen. Your thoughts, Ann?
Yes, I mean, when I wrote Adios America about immigration, I thought the country had about a 10% chance. Mm-hmm. On November 8th, with the election of Donald Trump, it went up to 90%. But there's a lot to get done. I mean, that's why I, at least, was particularly disturbed by the Syria bombing, because it's the same thing over and over again. These politicians give us the rhetoric. Right. They know what the people want. We want to put America first. We want a wall on the border. We'd really rather have politicians weeping about Kate Steinle than someone in a country 6,000 miles away that has no effect on us. Certainly is not a vital national security interest. But there's a lot to get done.
Ann Coulter is still with us, been remarkably quiet over the last 15 minutes.
Waiting for you to turn my way.
I'm just turned your way, Ann. What do you think?
At the risk of having you yell at me again, why is it in our interest? That's what, I mean, this is the Trump agenda, make America first. How does this help Americans? Yes, 24 million people are suffering horribly. I disagree with you. I think China wants to keep the regime as it is because they don't want those illegal aliens pouring in. South Korea doesn't want us to bomb the nuclear facilities because they'll lose. They're the ones at risk. Why do we even have troops there? This is China's problem. It would be as if China announced, well, if America won't deal with Mexico, we will. Okay, great. Take care of Mexico for us. Why are we taking care of North Korea for China and South Korea? We should offer to sell them a missile defense. That's it.